is a Bramble Jam podcast. Hi, I'm Brian, and I love Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Brian. I like Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Dan, and I despise Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Jen, and I would like a refund from Hallmark Plus's crappy app.
And this is the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
It's officially Christmas.
Oh my goodness.
Jen Kirkman's here. It's officially Christmas.
Heck yeah.
Now it can begin.
That's exactly right.
Hi, Jen. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you all. It's really good to see you guys. I'm honored that Christmas has finally begun now that I'm here.
The fact that you keep coming back.
You were
is a
putting
miracle.
up. You were putting up decorations 5 days ago.
Well, I was,
So
yes.
for you, it did start earlier.
Well,
than that.
yeah. I can't. I can't wait until
That's right.
I talk to Jen for
But
Christmas
also,
to start. I can't afford that.
A tradition unlike any other. I believe Alonzo Duralde, Jen Kirkman, Justin Kirkland.
I think that's it. That's the
are the
trifecta.
only three that have been on
Trifecta.
every season of Deck the Hallmark
true.
for a Christmas
That's
movie
true.
review.
Except for the first one.
You were on in the first season
But
You
I
were-
didn't I find you guys?
during that. That was the first season. Yeah, your first appearance was during
I mean, I feel like Jen would know that,
Christmas
right?
of 18. I'm looking it up.
Yeah.
I'm positive she was on that first season.
Jen's like, no, I didn't like you.
Yeah, actually.
No, I just feel like I found you kind of later in the first season.
Who
And
else?
that you didn't have guests yet or anything. It was really
Oh, they
new.
were guests like episode 2.
Oh no,
right?
Mingle All the Way, Jen, featuring Jen Kirkman, December 3rd, 2018. That
How
was
about that?
season
That's
one.
first season. Wow.
How about
You've done
that?
18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. You've been on every season, Christmas season of Deck the
I mean,
Hallmark.
Congrats.
that's a pretty big
Yeah.
deal. I know
This is a
that's
huge deal for me.
that's how
right.
you're going to start introducing yourself.
That's
to
right.
people.
Oh, no, I'm not kidding. I would.
8 year
As you should.
vet, Deck the Hallmark.
As you
vet.
should.
That's right.
We're talking a Newport Christmas today. I do want to hear what problems that you had with Hallmark Plus. Maybe we can get you a refund.
Get you a ticket
We
number.
can't get you a refund,
you
but I'd
into the
love to hear
system.
because their apps are always bad.
Oh, well, I was nervous at first. Like, oh, no, they're a sponsor and they don't want
No,
me to
they're
say
not a
that.
sponsor.
Nah.
No. They suck.
Okay. Well, usually there's a little downtime between when it airs and when we record.
Right.
But at the time of this recording, the movie aired yesterday. And I don't have regular cable TV anymore. I just have sort of a half situation of whatever comes with the company I have. And then I have a lot of streaming. So I got Hallmark Plus because I don't have the Hallmark channel. And I thought it meant this is the Hallmark channel plus other
That's
things.
Right.
Yeah. That
And they
makes
even
sense.
have a thing on their app that says live, which I thought meant live on the
Live.
channel.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And so I sat down last night to watch this film and I don't have access to it. Now, I had a very busy morning with appointments and such that started at 8 a.m. So I got up at 5.
Wow. Jen.
Yeah, I get up. I'm an early riser.
Yeah,
I get up
but
Well,
But I had to be paying attention.
right.
I watched this before the sun rose.
You gotta
today.
lock into Newport
Well, I'm
Christmas
just
before the
happy-
sun's up. You know what I mean?
I'm
That's
happy
what
it
really-
was available. I know they say next day, but I
Yeah.
don't like who
That's
knows. Like
wishy-washy, yeah.
5
Yeah.
a.m. is
the fact that it
potentially
was
not
there.
next day.
Well, I will compliment the app. I did Google last night, when is this available? Because I was worried. And it said next day. And I Googled,
What
do you
is
mean
next day?
12:01 a.m.? And they said yes.
Oh wow.
Okay.
And so I think it went up first thing. And,
That
and
is
so I
pretty
will
quick.
give them credit.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, you don't got to wait long. So there you go. There's that. If you're willing to wait 2 hours, 1 minute after the movie airs, you could watch it.
You could.
Yeah.
So there is that.
But it is not Hallmark plus other stuff.
Right.
That is
Yes.
not what that
is
means.
not.
And we
Yes.
found that out, to be clear.
We did find that out.
Yes.
Jim, we're so happy you're here because we just heard that you bought our book, and
Yeah.
I know that
So
was
we did sell a copy. That's
we did.
good
We
news.
sold one
Yeah.
copy. That's what got us to #1 on the Rural Life charts
Humor,
on Amazon.
yeah.
So that was
Number
pretty.
one rural life.
That was
That's
pretty big for us.
exactly right. You
I
need
found
this
out we're 90 on something.
We've dropped. It was the same list. We've dropped. And I put
Okay.
that on the readers.
Sure.
That's
Yeah.
nothing to do
Really
with us.
on
They've
them.
really
But
slowed down.
I know that you haven't read it yet, Jen. But imagine
No, it hasn't arrived yet.
Imagine that you have.
Yeah.
Like how tell everybody about how
Rave.
amazing it is.
Yeah.
Well, it's really funny,
Yeah.
first of all.
Yeah. It's heavy
And-
on the calm.
Heavy,
It's
heavy rom-com, heavy on the calm. Yes.
Yeah. And when you're reading a book, if you think about it, you're not often LOLing,
Mhm.
but this is a book that you will laugh out loud reading.
There you go.
And it's a page turner.
You,
know,
do have
you
to
think-
turn the pages. Yes.
True, it is a
Yep.
page turner.
They,
It's required.
it's not automatically turned. But, with these movies, they all follow a formula. And even though we all know the formula, when you see it in book form, it really is a page turn. I mean, it really makes you want to know what happens next, even if you can kind of guess because it's just like a movie, but it's not. It has twists and surprises, and it's heartwarming, and it's really fun to read it in book form, especially if, you've it's the same like if you watch these movies, you watch them to just get into the spirit and to relax after a long day. And why not do that with a book?
Mhm.
You know what? I was so invested by what you were about to say that I forgot that you haven't read it yet. I was
Yeah.
like, this
Yeah.
is such
She's
a kind
doing
review.
an amazing
She's so
job for
good.
someone that hasn't
Yeah.
read the book
She's
yet.
so-
And by the way, I think everyone should just, let's say you're not a big reader.
Yeah.
I know you've got the audio version, but you should still buy the physical copy and put it on your coffee table as a decoration.
Yeah.
Right,
Looks
right
great.
under your other book.
It's
It
a
looks
good-looking book.
amazing.
It's a
Yeah.
good looking book.
Conversation starter.
That's
Right
exactly
next
right.
to When's It Going to Be Christmas Again?
That's
our
right.
children's book.
And I'll Be Home for Christmas.
I'll Be Home for
movies.
Christmas
Really, if
movies.
you want
Let's
the
not forget.
trifecta.
You want all
the
three.
trifecta.
There they are.
You know what we should do is I should talk to the folks down at Christmas Movie Magic, see if they'll add a book to Christmas Movie Magic. Because
Yeah.
I think you could play it to this book.
You could easily play.
100%.
Now it's tough. I guess if you're listening to the audio,
Right.
then you could play the game, the card game.
Yes.
Man,
Man, I'll see
an
what
idea.
I'll,
Yeah,
I'll
send it
see.
on over
I'm an
to
ideas
Mr.
guy.
Movie Magic.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
I have one more thing to say.
Sure.
Bran, I relate to you. I'm an ideas gal.
Yeah. That's why we got
I am
along so
not
well.
joking when I say this because, Hallmark only did 24 movies this year, which
Yeah.
truly is in
Disappointing.
the Bible as a sign of the
Devastating.
apocalypse.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Yep. We've all read it.
Yep. It really struck at the core of the fear in me that things are changing in the world. But I think that more writers will be looking for other ways to get their stories out. And
There
I
you go.
think you are going to start a trend where people are going to start writing Hallmark Christmas movie books.
There you
I
go.
promise you by next year, you will see more.
That's right.
Yeah. We got
Wait,
out ahead of it. That's what we did.
we mean when we say
Yeah.
fail forward. That's what we're talking about.
100%.
You can't sell your
Yeah.
movie.
That's what
Make
we're
it a
talking
book.
about. Yes.
Make it a book. Jen, you could have picked from any number of the 24 movies. You picked Newport Christmas. Before you saw it, what was it about this movie that drew you to the title that you wanted to join us to talk about it?
Well, in all honesty, it was a scheduling thing. I'm going to be busy with something the next month, and I didn't want to miss out on being a guest. So it did have to do with that. But I had some other ones to choose from. There was like Military Christmas or whatever that was.
Military Christmas, yes.
Yeah, that's what it was called.
I will say this. This should not come as a spoiler to no one. You chose wisely of those two.
Yeah, I had a feeling. But, I'm a New Englander, and
Sure.
I assumed it meant Newport, Rhode Island.
Yep.
But what I really loved about it is I'm a sucker for a time travel movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is actually why I picked it. And
Okay.
I have to be honest, I think I might have picked this even if it wasn't like I needed to do it this week. I love a time travel movie. I like to see how they reinvent the wheel with, these kind of films.
Do you have a favorite time travel movie?
I mean, non-Christmas is Back to the Future.
Right.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy.
Obviously. Was just back in the theaters. I almost went to see it. but I couldn't.
That would be a fun
Another
watch.
great time travel movie, kind of time travel, Interstellar. I would
Yeah.
consider that time travel.
Yeah.
Also was back in IMAX as well.
Man, big.
So,
And
yeah.
Hallmark started the trend. They heard Hallmark
Yeah.
was doing this, and they said, "Well, we got to get these movies back out there."
This movie plot isn't even original to Hallmark time travel.
That's true.
So we'll get into that
We'll
later,
get into
but
that.
that's not even
Yeah.
original to them. So there's that.
Let's do this. Let's talk about A Newport Christmas. Let me tell you about it in case you missed it. It originally aired on November 4th, 2025, and it went a little something like this. The movie kicks off in 1905, Rhode Island. Ella is a fun-loving socialite who cares for folks who are down on their luck. She should start a charity. She wants to start a charity, but her father isn't having it. That's not what we do. He tells her that she's getting engaged whether she likes it or not. She leaves in a rush on a boat. Cut to present day in Newport, Rhode Island. Nick is giving a historical tour when he hears that the Coast Guard, the Coast Guard needs help. Big weekend for Coast Guard.
Yeah, no kidding.
That the Coast Guard needs help with a rescue. Being an ex-Coast Guardian,
Yeah,
that's the term.
I don't think
100%.
I tried. An ex-Coast Guardian. He takes the boat to go help. Suddenly, Ella is just in his boat. She has been transported to 2025.
What are you doing in my boat?
That's exactly
What are you
right.
doing on my boat?
They're both very confused, but he sails them back to shore. She tells him that she's going to turn him into the authorities, but then is very confused as to where they are. This isn't my Newport. She tells him her name, and he's very confused. Obviously, he knows about her. He asks what year she thinks it is, and she says 1905. And he's like, uh-oh, this isn't good. He assumes that she must be an overly committed cosplayer. Who hasn't met one of those? After seeing an inflatable snowman, she faints. She's very committed to the role. When she comes to, she gets back out her... Gets back out there and is shocked when she sees women wear pants. She walks back to what she thinks is her house. She is shocked to see that people are in her house. What are you doing in my house? She hears about the history of her family and finds out that she is quite the historical figure in this area. She decides that now is the time to go home, and what better way than on her boat? When he goes to get the boat, he's shocked to find out that none of his equipment is there. There's no carving on the mast that there always has been, and the name of the boat has changed. It is her boat. And she decides to prove that she is who she says that she is by showing them where her secret hiding spot is for all of her things in her house, including the diary that the last entry is on the day that she left. They agree to put her up in a bed and breakfast. One dude named Francis is like, well, it's pretty clear what's happening here. Past and present are happening simultaneously. I believe her 100%.
Well, you get it, of course.
Francis is above and beyond. He gets it. He's seen Back to the Future. Ella hasn't started her charity, The Giving House, yet, even though The Giving House is all over this town. It's a very important part of Newport. Clearly, she is trying to figure out how do I get back to where I need to go? What are we going to do? And they are like, well, she can't learn much about her or else it could mess up the past. Again, we've seen Back to the Future. Nick tells Ella that he thinks that she's time traveled. She's like, oh, okay, cool. She tells him that before she met him, she saw a comet. And she made a wish upon that comet that her life would change. And it has. And so it might have something to do with the comet. She comes to that conclusion pretty quickly, which is impressive. He takes her to see the Christmas tree lighting, and she is absolutely blown away, and rightfully so. Unfortunately, she sees a giant monument all about the history of the giving tree. While she's reading it, Nick is being told that Ella is beginning to disappear from portraits that are hung up in her house, which is now a museum, obviously. Just as she's looking at the monument, the text begins to disappear on said monument. They have to figure out how to get her back to her time, or else she's going to disappear for good. They tell her that she has to stop finding stuff out about her, and she's like, easier said than done. There's monuments with my history on it. He's doing some research about the comet and discovers that there's a Christmas comet that comes about exactly every 20 years. Not about, that wouldn't be how. Anyway,
roughly, give or take. It doesn't matter.
Who can predict?
Science.
Who can predict? She tells him that she saw this comet and that this has to be it. And he's like, well, good news is, comet is coming here this year in 5 days. Bad news, though, that gives Ella and Nick 5 more days to begin to fall in love with each other, and that's unfortunate. As they're walking around, she sees a guy who looks vaguely familiar. I'm sure it's nothing, though. She asks around and figures out that guy is the guy who back in the day her dad bought the boat from. He's like, well, that's weird. I see the picture of this guy that looks like my buddy. But, whatever. I'm sure it's no big deal. So they go to talk to him, and he's like, hello? Yes, it is me. I am Rex. I am from the past. He gives this information up very quickly. Rex is who she ends up marrying. And he's like, I have heard about this and I don't know what to do with that information. Apparently, her dad ends up sending him out to rescue her, but supposedly he was transported to 2005. The comet took him to 2005 instead of 2025. He tells them that when he arrived, he found this letter that left the boat to him with instructions to sell it to Nick. He doesn't know who left this note for him. He figured out about the Christmas comet and that it's his key to going home, but he doesn't think he wants to go home at all. He likes it there. She's conflicted. She knows that she has to marry Rex, but she's falling for Nick. To make matters worse, Adam / Rex is like, hey, I'm not going back. I'm not going back to 1905. I got a dope life here. I'm in love. And so I'm going to stay here. And she's like, I want to stay here too. Nick is like, you can't stay here. You have to go back. You have to be with Rex. That's what has to happen. And so Rex, the real Rex, talks about his love. They go. There's a big ball, and they end up showing up. And when Rex shows up with his fiance, the Christmas tree disappears. They got to get to the boat now before more disappears. He gives her, Nick gives her an ornament to remember him by, and one last big hug / forehead kiss before she hops into the boat. I'm sorry. Ella and Nick, they danced, and yeah, that was big. Anyway, so she sails off, sees the comet. She is like, Comet, why did you let me fall in love? Also, take me home, please. And it works. She's home. She runs back in during the Christmas ball. She tells her dad that she doesn't want to marry the man. And he's like, well, he came all the way here. Rex, come on in, bud. And Rex is Nick.
What?
We see that in 2025, her portrait is back. She's saved. Yay. Nick explains to her that as she was sailing off, he realized that if Rex isn't going to accompany her, he could. And he also remembered, this is great, Rex's parents are dead, and he's an only child. So I could steal that identity
Right now.
fast. No issues at all. And she's like, great. No problems at all.
F
They
2025.
kiss, and the comet is smiling upon us. And that, my friends, was
A Newport Christmas. We did
a lot
it.
to get to there. We got a lot to talk about. Obviously, we're going to share our thoughts on it on the other side of this break here on Deck the Hallmark. We're back. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Jen Kirkman is here with us today to help us talk about A Newport Christmas, time travel, Christmas.
What's not to love?
What's not to love? That's what we're going to discuss here. We're going to share our hot takes. Brian, I'm going to let you show us all how it's done here by sharing your hot take. I know that'll make Jen feel nice.
Here we go. Yeah,
nice
we always have a guest and start with Brian.
That's
what we
exactly
do.
right. That's
Yeah.
our
Brian
hands are tied here.
demands it.
Brian, what did you think of A Newport Christmas?
I was so excited for this movie. I was so high on this movie during our preview show. I gave it 5 peppermint mochas and a cream.
Wow. Okay.
The cast, the crew involved in this movie, everything about it said this is gonna be the Christmas comet of Hallmark Christmas movies.
Okay.
This is going to be the Christmas comet of Hallmark Christmas movies.
Yes.
Great.
Makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
Some of the fish out of water stuff was really funny.
Yes.
It really worked for me. And I hoped for that. That was like my love for it was hinging on this, the comedy of this situation. The Ella as Ella, right? Ella
Yes.
as a cosplayer. I thought that was a really funny idea that they all were like, oh, she's a cosplayer. This is perfect. And leaning into that was kind of funny. But there was just like felt like a lot of conversations and a lot of walking. And I was a little bored with this. And I feel really terrible saying that because I was so pumped up for this movie. I know. It was really well done. It was really well written.
South Pole.
But I was just kind of like, I was kind of bored a little bit. And I was trying to pump myself up and get into it. And I don't know. And I was really nervous about this hot take because I don't know how other people feel about this. And I'm wondering if am I on an island out in the ocean here.
Newport.
Newport, my
On a
the
boat
water
that may or
Newport.
may
A
not be
road,
yours.
maybe
Yeah.
a road island.
Maybe.
You're a rogue. You're
I'm
a
a rogue island.
Yeah.
I did have some of the best fish tacos of my life in Rhode Island, Newport,
Okay,
Rhode Island.
shout
out.
I don't know the name of the place, but I could
Well,
find
thank
it
you, Brian.
if I had
Thank
to.
you so much for that recommendation.
But yeah, I was just like a little bit of a letdown. My expectations were so high, and I feel like part of that is my fault. I gotta temper things a little bit better. Like I should not be atmospheric with this. So I
5
was-
peppermint mochas and a cream.
I was
Well,
a
coming
little-
off last week's 10, that was Ted Cooper.
Yeah, you
That-
gave
it's-
last week a
I
10,
love
which
Ted
is
Cooper.
tough to live up to.
So, well, I'm glad. I think they did a good job. I was just a little like bored by it, and I feel really bad saying that.
Wow.
All right, Jen,
Shocking.
you picked it. You love time travel movies. You love Hallmark Christmas movies. How'd this one work for you?
I don't know if it was that I had no expectations going in, except thinking, ooh, this might have a vibe of 10 years ago bad Hallmark movie. But I loved it.
Wow.
And,
I'm
you know,
glad.
again, I was watching before the sun came up. I'm extremely sleep deprived.
Yeah, you had it was all working against
That's
you.
right.
100%.
If anyone was going
Locked
to
in.
dislike it, it'd be you at 5 a.m.
Yeah. Now, I do get what Brian is saying because I don't want to say, here's the thing, I wasn't bored, but here's why. I had a lot of trouble understanding the math and time travel sci-fi of it all. And I still am a little bit fuzzy. And so I had to really pay attention. And in my defense, I was on 5 hours of sleep. But that's what kept me hooked, is that I do think they did a really great job making the time travel complex, and that it was the present and the past at the same time. I know that's been done before, but they did it well, I think. And usually with these movies, it's like there aren't consequences. The person is from another time, and it's not like they're going to disappear and alter history if they don't go back. And I appreciated the realism of they have to go back. So I really liked it. A couple of things that I just thought would be interesting to y'all.
Sure.
It did at some points beg the question of, why does this have to be a Christmas movie?
Sure.
Yes. Yeah.
And
fair.
and you know, we can say that about a lot of Hallmark Christmas movies if we want to be Scrooges
Yeah.
and overanalyze them. So, but I did some research. There was a 1905 Christmas comet
Okay. There you go. Christmas
Yeah.
comet.
There you go.
discovered by a French guy that looks at
Astronomer.
comets.
Yeah.
Yeah. He loves the
Astronomer.
comet.
As we called them, guys that look at comets.
Sorry.
You can call him whatever you want to.
The comet got
Or
brighter.
girls.
Or girls. The comet got brighter as it approached both the Earth and the Sun. And it was a very bright, naked eye object, meaning that as ridiculous as it looked in the movie, it may not have been so different in real life. Although I don't think, like this comet, that it stood still for 8 hours at a time. But yeah, so I also did a little research because I didn't know why everyone was Irish at first. But in Newport, Rhode Island, during this time, there was a lot of Irish immigrants, and they made the place run. And so that was a realistic
There you
thing.
go.
I did a lot of research on this. I guess I had a lot of energy this morning. So
You wrote a whole dissertation about
right.
this
Yeah.
movie
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
before
So I
most
really-
people are awake.
I liked it, and I can't really tell you why, except that I appreciate the research that went into it. And 1905 was this kind of end of the Gilded Age, and everything was on point, like the party that would have been happening and all that kind of stuff. So I liked it. I liked their I actually thought they had great chemistry, and I liked the side players. I thought they were well written and realistic, and it was nice to see a woman of color whose role wasn't to be, the best friend who has no life of her own and just gives advice to white people. It was
She's Lady Boss.
Yeah.
She's lady.
She was- yeah.
Lady boss.
lady boss. And so there you go. I liked it, and I understand that I might be wrong, but for me, loved it.
I don't think you're wrong at all. I don't know if that means anything to anybody because that's what I do. But I loved it. I thought it was really fun. I thought that the two leads had great chemistry. I thought that it was the proper amount of Gilded Age for me to stay invested in a movie.
So very little.
Which is what I would say is a skosh.
Yes.
I was, they were there long enough for me to be like, oh yeah, but then they were out. And I appreciate that as someone who hates that. I thought that the time travel worked. It kept me engaged. I agree. It was like, it is wordy. There is a lot of explaining as to what's happening, but I kind of want that in a time travel movie. I want them to give me enough for me to be like, okay, I get what's happening and I get why it's happening in the way that it is. But not enough for me to be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I felt like they did okay with that. They didn't over explain to the point of me having to pull out like a dictionary and figure out what they're talking about. But it was just enough to keep me engaged. And I really liked it. My biggest complaint about this movie is you have Jenna Claire Mason and you have Wes Brown and you have no singing. Yeah. And these two deserved a song together. I am upset about that because boy, that would have, if this movie ended in a number or something with these two, or just singing a song, like just you have her. She was in
so crazy that they don't sing in this movie.
Wicked.
She was Glinda in Wicked on Broadway,
and then you have Wes Brown who also sings.
Yep.
He has sung in a Hallmark movie before, and we get nothing. And so, not that you don't always have to sing if you sing, but you got these two people that do sing and have sung. Maybe I went in with a little too much of an expectation of there being a song, and so maybe that's
right. Even like singing to herself as she's walking around, like
something.
Yeah.
They did record a song for this movie.
Who knew?
And
Who knew?
They recorded a song for this movie?
Yeah.
And
it's called
make the
a Timeless Christmas. And it was released on the day that the Friday, I think.
And they just chose not to use it.
And I don't know. I don't know if it's in this movie, but she was promoting it on her Instagram, and Wes did as well. And you can listen to it all over. And it's a bop, which is the most frustrating part because it's a bop.
Okay. And one other thing that I just wanted to add, I also thought that this movie had an interesting look about it. Sometimes that
you mean that green screen at the dock?
No, not just that.
Got it.
Not just that. There was a glow that I think maybe was related to that. Like, hey, we want this whole thing to kind of look overexposed and a weird glow about it. Like, is it a dream? Is it not a dream? The green screen stuff down at the water looked really bad, and I don't know why they had to do that there. But like it definitely had a look to it, which was interesting, and it kind of made me like wonder: is this whole thing a dream? Is it not a dream? And I don't know why they did that, but it was worth noting that this one didn't exactly look like the others either. Dano?
Wait, really quick. I'm so sorry. I forgot to mention I loved the bad green screen. I don't know why.
There's something about it that just
thought
works.
it looked cute.
Yeah,
it didn't bother me.
I think for some people that's going to work really well. I am not one of those people. I would say that the stop clock that is Brian Harold is right twice a day, and that one of those times is right now. Listen, I love time travel stuff. It has been well documented on this program how much I love time travel stuff. This movie starts like we're in the middle of the movie. Like they get to the time travel so quickly, and 30 minutes in, the urgency of usually the third act of some of these movies is already very apparent. For me, for all of this supposed urgency, it does kind of drag. It's a movie that has all of the ingredients, and it kind of drags for me. The explanation of this thing is borrowed. Like Journey Back to Christmas, a roughly 10-year-old CCB movie, is a Christmas comet movie where she travels through time from a Christmas comet and then hitches a ride back on the comet when it comes back around, and it has a certain number of days. And then the charity thing straight from Providence Falls, which not really Joa Botkin's fault. That came out 3 months ago, but I felt like we were seeing two rehashed plots that shouldn't be rehashed. There's enough different ways to time travel that I don't need Christmas Comet again. And so that was kind of like I will say this, I didn't know exactly how they were going to end it. 5 minutes left in the movie, which never happens, but I don't think they exactly landed the plane with how they explained that. But my biggest thing is, and this is just me personally, and I said this to Bram, but at some point, Hallmark is just finally going to have to do this thing where they let people be separated by time. And when they do it, it's going to be amazing. Like Biltmore Christmas, this movie, there are some like historically great love stories where the two folks don't end up together at the end of the movie. And I know that that's kind of an inherent promise of Hallmark movies, but when you have these hard and fast rules of time travel, I mean, basically this guy leaves his life in 2025,
No doubt.
City of Angels style, like Nick Cage style, to go back in time. Iris by Goo Goo Dolls should have been playing. And so instead we don't
Should
really,
always be playing.
it doesn't add up in a way that makes it would make more sense to me that these two love each other and there is a loss where their love is remembered, but it isn't continually kindled because they have this 120-year time gap. And I know that that's not going to settle well with a lot of Hallmark people, but gosh, just do it. Like you don't have to do this dumb thing where you explain how he became Rex Grafton and how he doesn't exist anymore. I don't know, that made this tough. I like the leads. I think a lot of this movie has the ingredients to be really good. Between the Doc green screen stuff and the Christmas comet of it all, and them not landing the plane at the end, and then the last line of the movie, which I hated. I'll talk about in the feels. I was out. I will say this, been kind of a down crop. Still my second favorite of the year.
Yeah, there you go.
For what that's
Dan,
worth.
when you say the Christmas comet of it all, do you mean that the fact that there was an actual Christmas comet in 1905?
No.
You're mad at that?
No, I'm not mad at that.
Are you mad
Shout
with-
out,
are you mad
shout
with-
out to the 1905 Christmas
Shout
comet.
out comment.
I'm mad that CCB already did that. She did a Christmas comet time travel movie, and it just seemed really close.
She did it better?
And she, at one point, Jenna Claire Mason
Dan,
was
are you
wearing,
saying that? She did it better?
Yes. That's the hottest take you'll ever find from me.
Wow.
But
Dan likes Journey Back to Christmas more than Newport Christmas.
it's close. But yes, I believe so. I've said that's her best. I think that's her best Christmas movie of all of her movies, which I think you would agree with. I think we've had this
I
conversation.
would agree with that. Give me
Yeah.
Newport Christmas.
I think it's close. I think it's very close. I mean, I don't want to watch either one of them for what it's worth. At one point, Jenna Claire Mason is wearing a red coat that is so similar to
It
the
is the
red
same.
coat that CCB is wearing in her Christmas comet time travel movie. It's insane. Like this never.
But they didn't have a lot of coats back then.
That's true. That's true, Dan.
You got to think about that.
It just didn't it didn't feel original at all to me. This movie didn't, and it did to you, Jen, and that's totally fine. It just didn't for me, and it was boring. Guys.
Let's get to feels. Anything give us Christmas feels or any feels of the sort? Brad guy?
My feels were how I could really relate to Nick's character as somebody who is on the outside of a lot of stuff and he stands as an observer. And I thought that was like a nice character touch. And I really felt seen there.
Your goal in life is to be such an observer that if you go missing, if you time travel back to 1905 and live there for the rest of your life, no one will miss you.
Yeah, I don't want them worrying about me.
100%.
Yeah, if nobody realizes I'm gone, that's great.
Yeah, 100. And that I love that was basically the whole reason they put that line in there about him being observer.
So
is that
nobody- yeah.
we would be like, oh yeah, no one's gonna miss him.
Yeah,
He's just an
stands on the
observer.
outskirts of every
He's just an
situation, yeah.
observer. Jen, any feels for you?
Yeah, I had two quick feels, two different kinds. One is the fun feel when she was so excited about the paper coffee cup. I felt like that was a great wink and a nod to all of us Hallmark fans who every year watch crops of actors hold empty cups as they walk around. And I just felt that was somehow a wink and a nod. And then it ended up being the Christmas decoration he gives her. Of all the things that he could put on a decoration, he puts paper cups. I thought that was great. My real feel is when she's leaving and then there's that double back, like, wait, and they hug again. I started tearing.
6:28 in the morning, and Jen's a mess over there.
Beautiful.
Very sleep deprived. Sun is not up. I don't know what my brain chemistry was doing, but I literally felt it in my soul. I was like, that's beautiful. It's so romantic. I'm as shocked as you are, but it was a real feel.
Maybe you should
know what?
watch all these movies at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? A good use of a forehead kiss. You don't see them very often. I thought it worked
Oh,
in that
that
moment.
was so precious.
It was nice. It was like, this is like a sad goodbye.
Sad goodbye.
Oh,
You know.
Yeah.
don't even, I'm going to start again.
no.
Okay. We don't need to. We don't need to. We don't need to. I'll say this. We've had time travel movies, we've had Fish Out of Water, and I've always been like, they get adjusted to the time too quickly. And I felt like they did a much better job. Jenna Claire Mason did a great job of Fish Out of Water and kind of keeping it like they would just every once in a while, occasionally something else would shock her and surprised her, which is way different than like Timeless Christmas Pavey, who was over it in 2 scenes. Like there were things that kept coming up that kept surprising her about the present, and I really appreciated that. Dan?
Yeah, after Jerry Maguire, there was a rash of bad "You Had Me at," blank.
So
It just the worst. And then Hallmark really only has one that's memorable, and it's Crown for Christmas. You Had Me at Sewing Kit, which folks love that line, and I have come around on that line. I gave it a hard time when we did the episode, and I was probably too hard on this. You Had Me at Rex Grafton literally made me cringe chill in a way. Like I literally got chills in that way where it's like, oh, I'm about to have the flu. Like I was like, she said you had me at Rex Grafton, and I was like, take it back. Take it back. I hated it so much. I hated it. And why did they do it? He didn't have her at Rex. He had her way before that.
I hated it too.
Real bad.
Not a good one.
Yeah.
You had me at Rex Grafton. That's a line that should never be said by anyone, regardless of the circumstance. It's a terrible name.
You had
me at Rex Grafton?
Since you
So like 1 second ago when I said I'm in.
Yeah.
The whole movie I said I was out on Rex Grafton.
Yeah. Notorious out on Rex Grafton.
That's right. Yeah.
Maybe they cut a scene earlier where they watched Jerry Maguire together.
That's what you need to know about me. That would have been great.
That would have been fantastic.
If she watched
I
Jerry
take
Maguire.
it back. Had they watched Jerry Maguire together and then she said you had me at Rex Grafton, I would have forgiven the whole. It would have been my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
Thanks,
All right.
Bri.
You're welcome.
You should write movies.
And try and then write them books when they fail.
Oh, Christmas tree.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll get to the wait, what, the Hallmark here on
Deck the Hallmark.
Wow, that was a good break.
It was a great break.
Some breaks
I feel
were okay.
refreshed.
That was a great one.
Yeah,
That was a
really
really good one. Jen Kirkman's here with us. We're talking Newport Christmas. I think we're having a great time, personally.
Yeah.
It's time for the Wait What. It's where we talk about what in this movie made us go, wait, what? Bri Guy, take it away.
Yeah, so Wes's character, I feel like he took a 100-year-old boat out on a rescue mission. Is that
he
what
did.
happened?
Yes.
Heck
Okay.
yeah.
He does.
120.
Okay. Yeah. So just, I don't know, weird move.
Ooga.
On the open seas. Yeah, Ooga is right. So I don't know, just maybe some explanation on why we're just toying around with over 120-year-old boat. Risky. It's just risky.
Yeah, I would say so.
The fire, there was a point where there was a fire in a fireplace and it just didn't look real. And there was a movie you guys watched recently in an episode, maybe last week, where there was clearly a TV in a fireplace for the fire. And so maybe that was in my head, but I feel like there was a fake fire in one of these.
Probably.
I noticed that fire too. Yeah,
Okay, so
I noticed that fire.
I did too.
Yeah, so weird. Like just throw candles or
But
something.
it didn't look like it didn't look like a TV in a fireplace.
Right.
But it looked weird.
Yeah, it looked weird.
Like,
It looked weird.
The flame was almost too perfect
Yeah.
in the way that it was moving,
Yes.
but also kind of in slow motion. It was weird.
It was weird. Threw me off a little bit. And then the last one I have here, I think it was her father who said this line. He said, "I can't feign joy," but he said it like, "I can't." And I was like, "Are they?"
Whoa.
Feign joy. I was like, "Oh, you almost went there." Like
Hard
I
F.
thought for sure, hard F coming at you. It was a really funny moment. And
You
I
thought
sat up.
Hallmark's first profanity would be the F
Newport
word?
Christmas, yeah.
that's
In
strong.
Newport Christmas.
I thought
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
I thought maybe
Oh,
he would
Hallmark's
stop.
going
He'd be
there.
like, "I can't." And
I
then
would say this: the first time the F word is going to be on Hallmark is going to be somebody gave the wrong cut in, where there's a blooper,
yeah.
and we're going to see it somehow.
wait, can't
It's going to
wait.
happen, and
gotta
it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Jen, anyway, what's for you?
Yeah, this is kind of like a bigger one. And I know it's not an intent that they had for this character, but there's some like weird little red flags that well, I can't say if I were her because she's from a different time, but
Sure.
he'll say these things like, yeah, back then these days the houses are bigger and the families are smaller, saying it like, I don't know why.
Oh, boy.
And I'm like, you don't know why?
You don't know?
You don't know why sometimes people don't have 12 children anymore?
Yeah.
Okay. And then
I don't
she's
know why
saying,
they're not families of 8 anymore.
yeah,
They don't make them like they used to. You know?
I wonder why everyone's struggling. I wonder why everyone's having a really, really hard time right now. I don't know.
And she's like, she says at one point that people seem liberated, and like that's a good thing. And he hesitates, like, yeah, but it's like, sir, this is a lot better than where she's from, where like her dad has to tell her what she's going to do with her life.
Yeah.
And
they don't make it like they used to, but should we storm the Capitol now? Should we go? We're here. Let's go.
It was a little bit Capitol stormy. And then he says something at the end like, yeah, she's like, I was going to have to be married to this guy named Rex. And he's like, why don't we do matchmaking anymore? It's like, dude,
bro.
Because women have choices. That's why they don't have 12
He's gonna
children.
love it back there.
He's going to be a big fan. Yeah.
Yeah, now it's all making sense. He was like, oh, please.
Yeah.
Oh, 1905. That's when I was king.
Yes, exactly. So that's like my biggest one. But, and look, I know in these movies, you can't have her freak out at every single thing from the future.
Here we go.
They picked and chose,
Chose, I guess. Yeah.
very well. But it is just funny that there's scenes where she's like, oh my gosh, the art on the latte, and yet she's just blowing by like LED lights on trees.
Yes.
I did, by the way, do some research on my wait what, and interestingly enough, in 1905, the espresso machine was invented.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
in 1901, the thing that you would even use to make the foam latte design was invented, but it wasn't until the 1980s that people started making latte art. So you had the technology for almost 100 years and no one thought to do it.
There
I
you
think
go.
that's really
She should bring it back.
embarrassing.
There. Yeah, that is.
Embarrassing.
I did note, Jen, that she was just confounded by a paper cup walking past automobiles. She's walking past streets of parked and driving automobiles going, a paper cup, son of a bee. And I'm sorry. You can't do it. You can't do it, Hallmark.
Because
You
even if you're told about like electric cars, which he does tell her about right away, you're still surprised when you see one, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're pulling my leg, right? Like she's just like, whatever, car,
yes.
gas or otherwise.
Because and then just lastly, like fun little ones at the way beginning. She hands someone like basically an empty basket and says it's full of baked goods and toys for the children. Like, no, it's
No, it
literally
is
not.
not.
But okay. And then the first thing she sees blow by her is a skateboard, which I feel like at least they had wood and wheels
For
back then.
sure.
So that's a little, like that's what we got to show for 2025. The second you get off a boat, like, I don't know, there could have been something like a drone or something at least.
Yeah, the X Games are thriving right now in 2025. It's never been bigger, skateboarding. I have a couple. One, I'm so used to seeing at a Christmas tree lighting someone on a stage with a microphone press a button that I said, wait, what? When we're at this tree lighting and you just hear someone off screen without a microphone go, it's the moment you've been waiting for. Join us as we count down. Like, get that guy a microphone.
Somebody help him.
This
That's
is a
Cody
big
Frizz.
crowd. It's a big crowd. Get that guy a microphone. He's struggling out there. And then you want to know what the first giveaway should have been, that Adam isn't who he says he is the fact that Adam joined the Coast Guard and his name is Adam Waters.
Adam Waters.
Adam Waters joined the Coast Guard?
Come on, man.
You could have named yourself anything.
That's right.
And you went with Adam Waters, and I'm doing a job in the water. A little on the nose, Adam. People are going to figure this out pretty quick if you give them the opportunity. That's all I got. Dano?
Yeah, I mean, with all these movies, you just need to take these people to a hospital. And I do need to mention it. Like if you come in contact with someone who says they're not from now, the first thing you need to do is get them
Give
some
them a
help.
latte. Get them help. Yeah.
Get them some help. And I will say this one saved a little bit by the boat changing names, which does happen, 15 minutes in or so. But still, as with all these movies, I know that they don't, because we wouldn't have a movie otherwise. But if your friend in real life is telling you they're from 1905, I would just get them checked out just to be on the safe side for all involved. You know what I mean?
Well, Dan, she also hit her head, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like head
Because he
injuries.
says at one point, I almost called an ambulance. Oh,
Yes.
you let someone with a head injury close their eyes and go to sleep?
Yeah,
That's when you
exactly.
call the
I would
ambulance.
say time
Another red
travel
flag.
is never. Head injuries are, yes, they happen. So I do want to make that distinction. But she does adapt very, very quickly, which we've talked about. But her knowledge of film in 1905 is insane. I know moving pictures were technically late 1800s, but widespread motion pictures, well into the 1900s. And she is, I think, 7 years removed from that Santa Claus movie. And she knows her moving pictures. And I guess it's possible, but the number of people that really were talking about the moving pictures that early, you just wouldn't think a Newport socialite would be one of them. Like, she really is locked into these. My only other big one that isn't covered is, and I could be wrong on this, and I would love clarification, but I'm pretty sure that in 1905, her parents lose her. They cannot find her, and they continue to plan a Christmas party.
Yeah.
They're like, she's been gone for days. That ball's not going to plan itself.
Just get everybody together real quick.
We've got to keep moving forward because if we don't, there will not be dances and there will not be gentlemen callers and there will not
our
be
yearly ball.
We can't.
The first year
People are counting on us.
Can you imagine them meeting and be like, "Can we do both? Can we look for her and?" This Christmas ball's important. We've got to plan the Christmas.
That's what shifts are for.
Do
You do it in shifts.
That's right. Do you want to know how important party planning is in Hallmark Christmas movies? Parents don't stop to look for their children because they got to plan the Christmas party. So that was crazy. That was a crazy
if
thing
she
to
shows
do.
up, she'd be disappointed.
That's right. Yeah, if she
She
shows
doesn't
up,
have the ball.
we've been
Right.
looking everywhere for you. What about the Christmas ball? Well, we didn't know. We didn't know. We stopped. You got to plan the Christmas ball.
got to.
Stopped. It's time for What the Hallmark. It's where we ask any questions that we would still like some answers to. Brian, what you got?
I'm just left wondering, can we just trust history at all at this
It's a
point?
great question.
It seems like it's kind of
If
flippy,
anybody could
flimsy
be
here.
anyone from any time.
That's right.
Yeah.
You just take over somebody's identity.
I'm Rex Crafton now.
You had me at Rex Crafton.
You had me at Rex. Yeah. Jen, what are you still wondering about?
Originally, I thought my What the Hallmark was going to be the insane crowd at the tree lighting. Like
There's so many people.
So many people.
Get
the
that guy a
overhead
microphone.
shot, I was like, it looked like a protest from like the No Kings. I was just like, this is every person in America.
That's where Hallmark got the footage.
That's right.
Yeah. Because usually it's like very sparse and you're like, oh, is this still like a COVID regulation? Like, why are there 5 people?
Yeah.
And this was like way too many. And I wanted to know I don't know what's going on in Newport, but I think my What the Hallmark is a really sincere question of, I don't understand some of the Rex. Like that's
There's
where I
like a
started
2-hour window in there, and he took a boat out and followed her,
Yeah.
and then he had that woman send the note back. It's
that I didn't get. Like
it's a little murky.
Yeah,
It's a
little.
little murky.
I didn't know if everyone else understood it. And I also, like he just gives up his life.
Yes.
And so back home with like Boss Lady and that guy, so he never existed? They're not like, where'd he go?
Well,
Or
he existed as Rex from 1905, but I
Yes.
don't think he.
But they all remember him after
do
he becomes
remember
Rex.
him.
Every time
who
travel movie,
remembers him?
the people in the future,
in the future,
in the present, who work
They
with him.
remember him as Rex?
They remember
No.
him as his other name.
Yes,
Nick.
Nick, that's the one.
So they're like, Nick just left and went to
and
live in
they're
another-
all happy that he left. They didn't want him
and
anyway.
everything
Screw that
that
guy.
we see in the history books about Rex, we know that's Nick.
Was Nick.
Because Nick is not, he didn't
Yes.
actually, okay, so
Yes.
Nick was pretending to be Rex. So Nick now is just like, he is like no more modern. So does he go around like blowing people's minds and saying, in the future, there will be the internet? Like, can
There's
he?
one for one though, because Rex moved forward in time and stage, right?
Yes, 100%.
And Nick went back.
But he has committed identity theft. Like 100% he has.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like he is saying that he is Rex, who is a person who really did exist. Rex went to the future. Rex is now Adam Waters, right?
you could choose
Yeah.
any
But,
name, and he was
but
like,
if you go back in time,
Adam
this
Waters.
was mine. Like do you going back and taking someone's identity, even though it's just his name, does that not have any ramifications on the real Rex who is now in the present as Adam Waters? Like there has to be something, right? Like I've been told identity theft is not a joke. This is very much making it seem like identity theft
I will say
is a
it
joke.
would be easier to do that in 1905 than now,
Yeah.
where he could just go and be like, I lost my papers, and they would just issue him new papers.
But you
It's
would
pretty
think like
straightforward.
that's much
You're a white
as-
guy, here's some new papers.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
fine.
But as much as he's shaking up, like her being in the present was shaking things up, does him being in the past
Does nothing.
It does
That-
nothing.
That would be my big
Because it's-
complaint.
to the
It
man
was
that
destiny.
was. Yeah,
I guess.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was always going to, there was only one timeline. He was always going to be back. Every time travel movie has to figure out the bootstrap paradox.
Yes.
And what they're saying
Yeah.
is from the time he was born as Nick, he always was also Rex Grafton 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
We don't know
wild.
why the universe just didn't have him
Yeah.
be Rex in the first place.
Right.
But
Yes.
It's very weird.
Yes.
But then also, like, he shows up, right? He's back in 1905. He shows up to the ball in complete tuxedo. Dad is like, well, he's come all this way. So clearly Dad knows that this guy who is Rex, how long has he been there? As who he is, like Dad knows that man as Rex.
Right, because he sent Rex to go look
He
for
sent
his
Rex-
daughter.
Did they switch at the?
No,
Like-
no. Dad knows him.
I know.
Dad, when he walks in, we
I don't
see him.
think he
He's
knew.
Wes
I don't
Brown.
I don't
think
think
he
he
knows
knows. I think
him.
he knows.
No.
He sent a guy, but I don't know if he
I don't think
personally.
no.
Interesting.
That wouldn't make sense.
But he bought the boat from Rex. He knows Rex.
If the dad knows Rex and knows that it's Wes Brown, then the movie
He
doesn't make
100%
sense.
knows Rex because she.
So when he wishes,
think-
he goes back 20 more years, maybe.
I don't know.
So he goes back to like
and
1885,
changes it at all, so that the person that he meets
and he
when
hasn't
he
aged
buys
a
the
day.
book,
He hasn't aged a day since.
I
then?
don't know.
That's a
I
mess.
gotta watch this again.
Yeah.
I
See,
don't.
this is what I mean.
That's a
I
mess.
loved it.
Why would I ask Rex the butcher where the white chocolate?
Yeah,
is?
that's right. You can
100%.
get a good look. Sure,
Dan, any
guarantee.
other big questions?
That was mine. I think we
Yeah.
covered it from every angle I wanted it
I think
covered.
so. I think we've got it.
So I feel good about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Jen, anything you want to tell the people? Is there anything that you want to promote or tell people to go and see or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing this podcast about ADHD and ADHD, and
It's fantastic. By the way.
thank you.
Yes.
It's really the love of my life. I just want people to listen to it. It's for adults, but for adults with ADHD or ADHD. But yeah, just go to jenkirkman.com and you'll see everything there. That's all. I
The
just
podcast is You Are a Lot, correct? That's the name
Oh,
of the podcast?
I'm sorry. Yes, it's called You Are a Lot.
Yes,
an
let's tell people the
ADHD
name.
podcast. Yeah, that would help.
Wonderful.
For
Wonderful.
sure.
Yeah.
Jen, we love and appreciate you so much. You've been such a obviously a friend of the show, but you're one of the people that Christmas Tree. It's not a secret. We've tried to write a movie,
Yeah.
and a lot of people over the years have been like, "Hey, if you ever have anything, send it to us." And they're busy, right? And they don't
Yes.
get back to us. You've always been so kind, and you do get back to us.
Yeah,
and
that's
we
right.
appreciate
did.
you so much because you're just the best.
You are.
I mean, my ADHD, I think does sometimes I'm like, oh, it's been 3 months. And I keep thinking, oh, I'll look at it tomorrow. But yes, no, I loved reading it. And I'm sure, well, I mean, I reviewed the book.
Yeah, you did.
Without having read it. Yeah.
But
But this-
you're sure you were so confident that it's going to be good that you reviewed it ahead.
It is because I read the script
There
and
you
the
go.
script was great. So
There you go.
I'm telling you, you heard it here first. You've started a trend and I hope you get all the credit for it.
We'd love that.
We would love that.
We would love that, for
Absolutely.
sure.
We're going to be back tomorrow. Patrick's going to be here. Finding Mr. Christmas is what we're going to be talking about. So come on back for that.
Oh, by
Until-
the way, I love that show. I'm so glad I have Hallmark Plus. It's
There
such
you-
a good show.
there you go.
That app
Full
has really
circle.
saved Jen Kirkman's life. You know what I
Really
mean?
great. Really great app.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be back next time with another one. Until then, maybe the first to wish you a
Merry Christmas. Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast produced by Brandon Gray and that Greenville, South Carolina. For more information on the show, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. Follow us on the socials at Deck the Hallmark. And to get this podcast and every other one ad-free, join the best corner of the internet, including live videos and so much more. You can go to BrambleJamPlus.com.
Okay.